Alright, welcome one, welcome all, welcome to you are playing the Stanley Parable. Now, this game came out a while ago. I remember seeing both Markiplier and PewDiePie play it, but I don't remember exactly how the game went down. So I'm kinda not sure what to expect, but guess we'll have to find out together, trampling into this infinite abyss. Yeah, okay, let's get right into it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So he says, but what? Okay. Achievement unlocked, you can't jump. Wow, that's sweet. Nice. Thanks, man. What if I don't want to leave my office? So I'm too scared. What time is it? It's ready, 11:25, 24. Dang. Almost time for lunch. I think if we sat here at this clock would change time. Let's find out. Well, from the looks of it, it does in fact keep track of time properly.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Turned off his computer. Is my computer on?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, you listen here. This is my story. I'll do whatever the hell I want, boys. You know, these people really consider the energy crisis that is the scream shortage. Gotta be sure to turn off all these monitors. Let me look at this mug. What do you get? Be my Valentine. Man, fuck you, Valentine. Get out of here. Hell yeah. I'm a mature adult. Hate Mondays? Yeah, okay. I hate every day, so chill with that shit. Coffee cup.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
If you say so, I'll trust you with violence. Oh, pretty bright out there.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hello? I wasn't paying attention. I kind of spaced out. Get Chris out of the broom closet. We'll push it off till next Tuesday. Chris! Chris, you in here?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Man, give me a sec. Chris is supposed to be in here. Nobody got Chris out. Think he demolecularized.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
That's what you think. Bet I'll find a reason.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Yeah, not just sitting,
He wasn't even
right?
doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
F.A. my butthole, man. I'm trying to look for clues where Chris went.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm looking for Chris. Fine. Dickhead.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
Oh,
to
I was
his
real
boss's
hoping that it
office.
wasn't upstairs. Just to piss this guy off. What's this? Executive bathroom. God damn, let me in there. Totally got seat warmers and everything. Close this door. Don't leave it open. Come on, man. Oh, just kidding. It closed. Let me out. Well, well, well. What do we have
Stepping
here?
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
If you say so. Oh, I can crouch. What's in here? Let me in.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Well, you said it, sir, not me. I couldn't know it, so I can't put it in. That'd be messing with the laws of nature.
2845.
Ooh, that was red text. That was creepy.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
2618. Heck yeah, dude, I knew the combination. What? What is this? Is my life a fake fabrication of somebody's imagination? How cruel. I'm gonna hit this big red button because that seems like the right thing to do. Okay. My big brain powers is making me hungry.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Huh, we'll see about that. My intelligence tends to make things...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'll just, I think he wants to control my
mind. Although this passageway
mind.
had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Well, let's hope there's something else for me to do before the end of this hall.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I am on track.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Hell yeah, that's the exciting part. Let me in. Must have some legs of steel. Now let me out.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye, man. This was a good end.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
That's what you think. Hey.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Well, that's kind of mean. Well, let's get out of here. Looks like this was the death ending. Is there oh.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
I bet you're gonna go
How
on some
they
big
both
monologue.
wish to be free.
Shut up.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Nice. I think he's dead. Aww. Guess we'll begin again.